All right. Hello, and welcome everyone to our Visionary Leaders Monday call, our podcast, our webinar, all of the things. Hi, I'm Dr. Dr. Josie Schmidt, and I'm going to be kind of moderating this call today, but we have all of our leaders here and exciting people, and we want to have a juicy discussion about the holidays, and they're coming up, and how can we use all the tools and tips to support ourselves? Because let's face it, it's good to have support. So before we launch into that, because we're going to go like physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, the whole gamut of like, what do we do to stay grounded and to keep things flowing? But I want to do a couple announcements, because this is like November, I kind of think is the, the biggest, best month in doTERRA. It's kind of the most fun. It's leading up to the holidays. There's just a lot of stuff happening. So we had a drop of our limited time only holiday items on November 1st. But today, Monday, the 14th of November, we have one thing that has just been released and opened, and it's this Malama gift set. And already the singles in this, there's a incredible nourishing hand cream and the soap have already sold out. So you can get it. It's a nourishing hand cream, a soap, and the blend bottle, all, and it's a beautiful gift set. So know that that just dropped. And then starting tomorrow, we're having our doTERRA BOGOs. And I apparently it was really long. I was like a 14-minute video yesterday. If you saw me about all the things like the BOGOs, great for holiday gifts, building up your medicinary, your inventory, such great deals. This is how you do it incredibly cost effectively, not expensive. And so if you are going to be purchasing and working with the BOGOs all week long, remember that Malama gift set, because it'll probably sell out too. And it's a good time to buy that as a Prezi as well. We also have Blue Lotus in our A to Z call next Monday. And the ladies, Ariana and Meek and Louise, the ladies are going to be going over a beautiful call on this oil. So take that opportunity during BOGO week to get your Blue Lotus as well. And tomorrow is when the BOGOs start, and it's the BOGO box where you get everything all at once. You can get it as an enrollment if you're new. Boom, done. You have a wholesale account with doTERRA. And then the rest of the week through Saturday, we have a great raffle. Come check it out on our Facebook pages, Essential Wellness, Visionary Leaders, Jasmine and Juniper. And that is my commercials. Okay. So now, if you're coming in, and let's get down to it. I kind of did a general, I don't know, what's that called? Schedule of let's first talk about, like, when you talk about the base of being supported and everything. I'm a naturopath. As my partner always says, okay, if you're at the table with the naturopaths, it's only a matter of like, I count down the clocks, and when they start to talk about poo and sleep, like sleep and poo, it's all it is. And you guys, that is the foundation. If your detox pathways and your elimination is going well, your immune system is going to be going well. Your sleep is part of that. So let's talk about the physical first. I'm going to highlight a couple things that I do when I travel, that I take with me, and then let's open it up, and then we'll move into everything: emotional, spiritual, mental, all of that. So I want to do a shout out for kind of the basics for that foundation. Of course, the LLV, right? Do we know that? Do I have to talk about that? Just bring it and take it. That's all. Okay. So that's number one. There's like foundational things, and I'm not even going to, like, citrus oils. Have some citrus oils in your water.
And Josie, I'm going to interrupt you for a minute, just in case anyone's new, to back up. If you don't know already, BOGOs are buy one, get one free. I mean, most people know that, but just in case you don't. And then I was also going to say, for the LLV, sounds like today we're not going to go in a deep dive of LLV, but what LLV is the Lifelong Vitality Pack. So it's the 3-pack that doTERRA offers of their vitamins, and it gives us the beautiful nutrition and supplementation that our body can easily assimilate. So just for anybody who's new and these terms are new
Yeah.
to you, that's what LLV is.
Thank you, Ari. I know. I'm like, I want to talk about the other stuff. So just getting through, and I didn't know what BOGO meant when it first started, doTERRA. I was like, what is that?
I didn't either. I mean, now
Yeah.
it's a term that's used more in sales and stuff, but
Yeah.
I mean, still, I just always like to, if someone's out there going, what's a BOGO, or what's she talking about with
And
LLV?
we just really love that this time when they do these, because it's a week of being able to get oils at incredible discounts. You buy one oil and you get one of the equal value for free. And so it's this idea that, like, when people say, oh, it's a little expensive for me to kind of have a lot of oils to be able to always know, when I look up a recipe, I don't have a lot of that stuff. This is how you get those plant medicines in a medicinary or a palette for yourself, at an incredibly cost-effective way. Okay, so we always endorse that baseline of the Lifelong Vitality Pack, supporting your elimination pathways, your detoxification pathways, your metabolism. And kind of now we're also talk a lot about MetaPWR, right? Where it's like, as a baseline, there's so much we're learning about MetaPWR and how it is helping our system stay consistent. And that's going to be a big piece. I'm going to my parents, helping to care for my mom and Thanksgiving and with my whole family for 3 weeks around that Thanksgiving time. I shipped an LLV, Lifelong Vitality Pack, a MetaPWR pack, and a Terrazyme already to my family, to my parents' house. So I don't have to carry that with me, and it's there waiting for me. So that was something I did in the future, about knowing, like, I'm going, that's already there. So let me talk about these extra ones, and that I would really suggest to work with while you are traveling. And then also, we're going to be eating. Most of the time at Thanksgiving, people eat more than they usually eat. They eat stuff they don't usually want to eat, right? This is that time of some excesses. So you want digestive support. So Terrazyme, the digestive enzyme. If you haven't already started working with this is the time to bring it in. The normal is 1 to 3 with a meal. You can take up to 3 of these to support with, like, a heavy meal, a meal that you're eating things that you don't normally want to eat, or you're having exposures to, like, gluten or something that you don't normally have, whatever that thing is for you. Support yourself with these digestive enzymes. Now, the other thing is Zendocrine. Zendocrine detoxification complex. We usually work with this during cleansing time. I'm going to suggest to actually bring this in with your traveling, and besides meals, take 1 to 2 of each of these, a Terrazyme and a Zendocrine capsule, before bed, and even in the morning when you first wake up, if you find yourself having constipation after traveling. That is a frequent thing. People don't talk about it. I have this every time I fly. My system goes, ah! And I end up with constipation, and I'm not normally a constipated person. And so I've learned that I work with these guys after I've flown and during these times. And I take a lot more of them, and you can take a lot of them. I also, then let's talk about the oils. So there is the Zendocrine actual, have a lot of sun, which doesn't usually happen in Portland, Zendocrine oil blend. And of course, Digest Zen, the Digest Zen oil blend, which comes also in gel caps. I always bring these with me when I travel, as well as these 2 guys, so that I can stay consistent and not have my system clamp up. Because when you travel, you start drinking different water. That is enough for your system to go, this isn't familiar. There's all this different stuff in this water. Wait a minute. Some systems go too loose. Some systems go and they bind up, right, towards constipation. These things are going to really help support you in that. I would also do a drop about the fiber powder, the doTERRA fiber powder. It's a big bag. You don't want to travel with the whole bag, so you can take a little bit of it in a little sandwich bag, or something like that with you, but be taking that daily. And of course, I didn't bring it over here. It's not my thing. The probiotic doTERRA's PB Assist. So I don't want to overwhelm people, but you can go, if you don't take a probiotic, then you want to bring your probiotic at night or in the morning with these two once a day. If you normally take it once a day, add in twice a day during this time. Do people want to talk about like when I travel, when I fly? Oh my God, I bring these in, and the normal serving size of these On Guard chewable tablets that have On Guard Defense essential oil blend in them, zinc, vitamin C, vitamin D, and a really great antiviral base in it. They're fantastic. The serving size is just chewing up 3 of them. I usually take 9 to 12 on the day that I fly and the day after. And then I take 3 to 6 when I'm around my family and a lot of people. That is fine to go up in dose with these, and they're really going to support you. Okay.
Elsa, you look so excited about those chewables. I'm putting you on the spot, but did you have any tips of when you take them?
Yeah, let's open it up for people and how they use Zendocrine and DigestZen oils or anything.
Yeah, I love to use, Contessa, if you're talking, you're still on mute. You got to unmute yourself, honey.
Am I there?
Yes.
I just had my nephew, he is 14, and he got a cold a few weeks ago and just inhaled this bag of vitamin C and zinc, and it was just really neat to see a 14-year-old recognize that something was helping him so much, and it made his throat feel better. And just to the amount that Josie was talking about, like to take those extra ones, like it really is okay because there's nothing bad in them. There's like, it's not going to make your stomach hurt,
Yeah.
So that was it.
And I love those. I've taken zinc in other forms that I haven't liked so much. There's this weird aftertaste in some of the zinc products that I've taken in the past. So I really love our chewables because I don't have that. I don't know how to explain the taste very well, but it's just something that I don't care for in some zinc things in the past that I've had. So if a 14-year-old will take them, that is a very good endorsement as far as taste wise, right?
Hey, my 2-year-old and my 5-year-old take them. They are tasty.
Yeah, so that means tasty. Yeah, I really like.
Arin, can you turn Asha's camera on? She's joined us. Yeah.
I think
do people want to talk about how they use the oils? I mean, I just DigestZen. I love rubbing this on my belly and my feet, and I just drop a couple drops in under my tongue. I love a drop or 2 in a hot water as a tea. That's a wonderful way to work with DigestZen through the holidays and to really support yourself. And I usually do Zendocrine on the bottoms of my feet and in my belly button.
I second that, Josie. I think especially around Thanksgiving, it is so important to remember, drop 1 drop of DigestZen in a mug, hot water, maybe agave or honey if you do it, or stevia, and make yourself a tea. If you've eaten too much, it is almost like within a half an hour, it will shift it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then I want to also say, we haven't mentioned our MetaPWR, but I definitely think taking the MetaPWR before our heaviest meal. So that would be the MetaPWR Assist before our heaviest meal. So if you do celebrate Thanksgiving, whatever that is for you, do you guys remember how I always just do it before my meal, and I don't remember what it says on the bottle as far as how early we do it. I just am happy if I can remember it before I eat. So I'm like,
oh, I know. Ideal is 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay.
But
so
You know,
But
I
yeah.
always say, just get it in.
Just get it in. Sometimes I even take it with my meal, honestly, because sometimes I just don't remember, guys. So like, it's going to still help you even if you forget.
Habit forming is like, to start taking it while you're cooking the meal, basically, you know, or if you're in a situation like with appetizers or something like that, take it then at that time before. Yeah.
I'm also really enjoying the MetaPWR gel cap first thing in the morning with a big glass of water.
Mm,
You know, just to get one of those in early, help your liver, your kidneys, you know, get things
yes.
going is
I do
really
that.
great.
I do that too, Asha. I used to do, our MetaPWR used to be Slim and Sassy. So I used to always do Slim and Sassy in the morning. And I also noticed when I take that, it really helps if you struggle with brain fog. It just really helps because I do. And so I don't drink coffee, but I usually have a big glass of water and I can really feel it just kind of waking my body up. If I feel a little sluggish or if I've ate something that, you know, sometimes if I've had that sugary snack before bed, I'll have a little inflammation, and it just seems to really clear just my whole body and my mind out. So I love having that first thing in the morning.
Go ahead.
Well, I want to chime in on the MetaPWR conversation because as many of you know, I'm in Greece right now, and I've been traveling for a month and a half now. And I normally suffer really severe jet lag on this kind of trip. In fact, sometimes I suffer jet lag on a 2-hour trip. And the MetaPWR line has made such a difference. It is one of the best things I have ever used and experienced for jet lag, for my energy, for my mental clarity, for my sleep, for my digestion, for all of it. So as you're traveling, doing the entire MetaPWR system while you're traveling, I just can't like sing its praises enough. And not that it's all about this, but I've also lost an inch around my middle while in Italy eating tons of pasta. So, and also having no like GI upset, everything was working as it should. Sleep was a little challenging, but not as bad. I adjusted to the new time zone so much quicker. And so those products are so incredibly valuable. And everybody was talking about the assist. I also like to take the assist along with the MetaPWR gel cap with a meal, because it also really helps kind of cut down your desire for carbs and sugar. And so that can be really helpful in the holidays as we're surrounded by pumpkin pie and potatoes and all of that goodness, to enjoy it, but maybe it will keep you from just not eating quite as much. And then another thing I wanted to give a plug to is Dr. Josie mentioned the fiber powder while traveling, which is fantastic. I'm also traveling with the fiber powder, but I'd also give a plug to the greens, because sometimes we can be tending to eat a lot of carbs and sugar and not getting enough greens in. So having that fiber powder with the green powder is an excellent thing to travel with as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Aish. That's a great, a lot of tips. And I don't know if anyone else, I know, Ariana, can you check out Dr. Rose? She's having trouble. She can't talk or chat. But is anyone else on the chat have anything? You can come back to kind of the foundational body and supporting our bodies. We have so many tools, right? There's so many things we can do to assist in our digestion and keeping regular. And so
I
just
wanted to
know
piggyback
that
on
that's so
Aisha's
important.
for a minute.
Yeah.
I wanted to piggyback on Aisha's for a minute because
Okay.
I'm the kind of person that really needs to try things out for myself. I get very excited with the data and the studies and everything, but I'm like, I gotta speak from my own experience before I can really shout it out. And I have to tell you guys, this morning I did my before and after pictures of 30 days on MetaPWR, changing nothing about my diet. In fact, I probably ate more carbs than I normally do. I bought pumpernickel bread, which I don't normally make. I don't eat toast, and I've been eating toast. Anyway, you guys, it's dramatic. so dramatic that I'm teaching a class on December 1st, if you want to send people to it. That's all I wanted to share.
Woo!
You'll see
I know.
you'll see the pictures there if you want.
I know. Asha sent me the pictures. I'm not allowed to share them, but they're
It's a
real
35-minute
great.
class, so it's like easy in and out for people. And if they Eventbrite, you know, they'll get the playback if they can't join live.
Will you just take a moment and just share with us some of the changes that you've experienced and that you're seeing? Can you just
Okay.
list those quickly?
Sure. Briefly, and I think I mentioned this on a previous call, I've been doing intermittent fasting, you know, like hardcore one, don't eat past 8, and I don't eat till 1 or 2. I mean, it's a big fast. I've been doing that for about 5 or 6 years. Because I teach yoga often first thing in the morning, and I think it was really shutting down everything. I think it shut down my metabolism completely, you guys, because I hit a plateau so hard I could not break through until MetaPWR. So one of the big things I've noticed is everything coming back, like libido, like energy, like my waistline, big time, right? I mean, I have not had an indent. I've been like a boy, like a teenage boy, like straight down, you know, no, anyway. And then even, and this is going to sound like not a positive, but for me, it really is. I don't crave sweets. I'm not a real dessert person. And I've been like, hey, maybe I'd have like a piece of chocolate or like, even that I think is healthy to have range in your metabolism. So what I'm noticing is really feeling balanced for the first time in a long, long time.
What I'm hearing when I hear that list is that it's an appetite for life.
Oh,
I love that, Louise. I definitely can relate to that, where we're all bio-individual, right? So for one person, I'm definitely a sweet person. So having a little bit of support at night, like not wanting to eat tons of chocolate is a good thing for me. But I definitely feel like it's just enlivened my appetite for life. And I've been going through some pretty difficult times lately, but I've been noticing that the MetaPWR has been giving me a fortitude and a anchoredness and a center where I can really show up really grounded and stable and in my body. And then also I've been noticing this ability. My old habit and stress would be not to eat, to forget to drink water, to kind of abandon myself, to take care of everyone else, but to like put myself last. And then, as we know, when we do those habits, it spirals out of control. Like, what decisions do you make when your blood sugar is tanking? You know, what happens, you know, I get migraines because I'd be dehydrated. And so then it's like, there's more problems. And I've just noticed the MetaPWR, it's like this, I feel like it's like a mom that's just like a really sweet mom that's saying, honey, go eat. Like my stomach's like, go eat right now. Like, don't put it off. Don't make up some excuse of working. Like, just go get some food or go to bed now. Like, you're tired, go to bed. And there's this follow through where it's almost like this MetaPWR is holding my hand and just saying, come on. And I like that. I mean, some people might not enjoy that as an adult, but for me, my inner child is like, oh, thank you. Thank you. Because I can get so in my head and I can get so like work oriented that I will put off my needs. And so I'm like, wow, MetaPWR, it sure is a lot better if I really am nourishing and taking care of my body. Then I'm, you know, as we know, a much better caregiver to everyone else, right? Everyone else is happier too, if I am in that state.
Yeah. I'd chime in here. Asha shared that with the MetaPWR, she's experiencing much deeper sleep. And I want to tie that back into how we can really put ourselves first and take care of ourselves through this holiday season. I know sleep is one of the first things that we let go of. And I just kind of want to take a minute to like anchor down in like, nobody is emotionally stable when we're running on not enough sleep. And we make poor food choices. That's very clear.
Yeah.
It really affects our metabolism. It really affects our stress response. And so let's hear, besides MetaPWR, what are people doing to get really good solid sleep and really let their body repair.
I gotta just chime in here. First, I have to give MetaPWR just one more plug, because I know this is moving more into the emotional, but as Ariana said, because the emotional, like the nervous system stress, like that can be really triggered in the holidays around family, with travel, with all of the things, with emotional issues, all the things that come with family in this time of year. And there was just a post about this from another woman, and I've been kind of saying this to a lot of people, that I too am actually moving through a lot of deep trauma and grief and anxiety. And I feel like the MetaPWR is fortifying my nervous system so I can actually navigate and move through it. And it's like taking some of that edge off. So it's almost as if Ariana said, it's like it's holding my hand and guiding me through this difficult time that I'm navigating right now. And so if the holidays are stressful and triggering, then fortifying your system will really help you kind of hopefully move through it with more balance and less upset. And then on the terms of sleep, again, having jet lag, you got to pull out all the things for the sleep. And my sleep is already a little touchy. So for sleep, I love to bring in the Serenity gel caps. I also take the Copaiba gel caps. And then I also take an adaptive gel cap, because I can tend to wake up with spinning thoughts and actually have anxiety that shows up in my sleep, or wake up with anxiety. And so I have found that from the MetaPWR, and then taking that extra fortification at night, and then another bonus on top of that is actually running a diffuser by your bed. I love Balance and Cedarwood, or Anchor, or MetaPWR is a really lovely oil to use, or Serenity. And having that oil diffusing as you're sleeping is also really going to help the limbic system. So if you do have a lot of sleep issues, that might sound like a lot, but it's a really good way to fortify your sleep. And you can also kind of play with the different products and pick and choose as you find necessary. But I do it all.
Aisha, I think Arin has some stuff. I just want to say, I love the word you used there, fortify your nervous system and your limbic system, because so many things people use for sleep are not helping the overall cause and this foundation and making them healthier. They're just knocking them out. It's like, I just want to get some sleep, all of the things you mentioned, all of the gel caps, the oils, all of that is working at a foundational level to support your nervous system and your brain, your limbic system, to become more relaxed and balanced. And as a result, you sleep better. So it's just, it's helping at that foundational place, rather than just being what we call, you're just doing something to knock out and get some sleep.
Yeah, it's not a patch. It's kind of a fancy word, but I feel like it's equipoise. I feel calmer, more grounded, more resilient day and night. I've never had a problem sleeping, you guys. When I say deep sleep, I mean, I feel like I've had incredible sleep. That's different than I've ever felt before. Like I wake up feeling really rested. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference there than just sleep.
Okay, Arin, I know you had some other juicies.
Yeah, I definitely have lots of good sleep recommendations, because I live with someone who has sleep issues, and we have kids. They have, their own sleep issues. But a couple of things that I have learned is, one, we made our bedroom a no technology zone.
Yeah.
So the phone is not allowed in the bedroom. And that really helps. If you are sitting in bed scrolling on TikTok or Instagram, you're actually doing yourself a disservice because of the blue light. So I know that was a habit that I had to break, because it can be, especially as a like stressed out mom, it can be it feels like it's de-stressing for me to zone out and scroll. And fine, if you want to do some scrolling, do it. Just don't do it at night. And then since taking MetaPWR and learning about my blood sugar and playing around with a little intermittent fasting, I feel like I definitely sleep better when I stop all eating by 7 p.m. So no like pre-bed snack. If I'm hungry, I just drink tea. I think that helps a lot. Same for my husband. So my husband struggles with sleep so much. And we found two things that really help. One is an aroma touch session a couple times a week. So we just set up our massage table in the bedroom, and I just have the aroma touch oils there. So it's very easy for me to give him an aroma touch before bed. And he always sleeps so much better when he has that done. And then he's been doing the intermittent fasting as well. So he stops eating at 7 and he doesn't eat until 11 a.m. the next day. And that has really helped his sleep. And then my favorite sleep oils, they rotate, but I love petitgrain. If you've never tried petitgrain, it is so helpful for sleep. I put it on the bottom of my feet. I also love Zendocrine, because sometimes when you wake up in the middle of the night, that can actually be an organ trying to detox or being sluggish. So I like to put Zendocrine on the bottom of my feet. And then if you're really struggling, yes, Serenity capsules are awesome. But before we had Serenity capsules, we had MetaPWR. And you can actually put MetaPWR in a capsule and take it. And it is a very strong, strong relaxer. So that's some of mine.
The Dr. Rose has a recommendation like that, Arin. She says vetiver and honey tea before bed. So exactly, vetiver is nice in a tea, and then also that she said you can put a scoop of unflavored magnesium in that as well. So magnesium is another thing that helps relax the nervous system. I'd like to do a quick shout out as you're talking about that to MetaPWR from that back end, in that's one of the big things both my partner and I notice with it is just that I'm not a sweet tooth, it's salty, but snack at night, after dinner. And I was always trying to not do it. And it was always a struggle. And definitely when I eat, whatever I'm eating, it's healthy snack things, doesn't matter. Yeah. Sleep is worse for sure. And so boom, that snacking at night gone. The desire to do it, the need to do it. Every once in a while, there's an old habit where I'm like, ooh, I'd like a thing. And then I have to check in. I have to use my own little muscle and say, but do you really want that? And then like, no, I can do without it. I'll say my tea. I have a nighttime tea I do that I love. I also do it sometimes in the morning because I love it so much. And I just make myself that and I'm fine. And not eating at night has become not a struggle. And so that's a huge gift with the MetaPWR and then better sleep. So yeah. One of my favorite teas is I get the liquid stevia. I add drops of either the touch or the straight up rose in there. Doesn't really matter how much you want to add. You can do a little bit or more. And then I use that as my sweetener. I do about 5 to 6 drops in a mug like this, 2 drops of vanilla, our vanilla essential oil. And then I get my finger on the top of Lang Lang bottle and I just kind of get it on my finger and I rub the inside of the cup. That's how much Lang Lang I want in there. And then I fill it up with hot water and that's my yummy tea. And
you call it love potion number 11.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good name. It is such a love potion. Oh my God. And it's just so soothing. And there's a lot of stuff in those oils and Lang Lang, rose and vanilla that are nice for sleep.
I love that. Another sleep idea, we were talking about MetaPWR, and MetaPWR, if you ever have seen the pictures, I'm 5'6" and some of the roots are taller than me. They go so deep, deep, deep into the earth and they're so beautiful. And there's a point on your foot called kidney 1 and it it's right on like if you pretty much just go to the center of the ball of like where your ball of your foot is, if you go right in the center, yeah, like if that was your foot Asha's showing, it's just like right there. And you hold a drop of vetiver on that spot. It is phenomenal. And I'll use that after an aroma touch. And I have felt just this, like, it's like, woo, like just this deep, 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 deep grounding. And if you don't know where that point is, you can look it up, or you could just put vetiver on your feet, but you're smelling that too. So you're getting the beautiful aromatherapy. And then the other thing I was going to say that we haven't mentioned is we were talking a lot about MetaPWR. But if you're a person that's waking up around 3 or 4 in the morning, that can often be because your blood sugar is having problems. And so it's waking you up. And I used to have that with anxiety. So I'd wake up with like massive anxiety at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's always a sign to me that my blood sugar is not doing well. And I haven't had that with the MetaPWR. And then the last thing I wanted to say about sleep is if you're a person who has trouble dreaming, and you want to dream, you want to be able to explore dream time, the Serenity caps are phenomenal for dreaming. And they will, when I take them, they make me have really vivid and alive and interesting dreams. So see if you take those and can explore that as well. And then, well, I guess actually I have one more thing. And then my mom called me the other morning and she hadn't slept well. And she was trying to troubleshoot like 10 problems at once and then making a few more of them. And she was like, Mom, I was like, I don't think the problem is all, like you're fixating on all of these things that you think you want a solution for. But what I'm hearing is that you didn't sleep well. And I'm hearing a lot of anxiety. And so I really encouraged her to take the adaptive caps. So I know we mentioned those before, but my sister said that if you're a person where your head starts running before you go to bed with like a to-do list, or, maybe there's something on your mind that your brain's trying to troubleshoot or solve, the adaptive gel caps are really gorgeous to just quiet that brain down so that your whole body can relax. And I will take those in the daytime too. If my brain is doing that and driving me nuts, I'll just be like, it won't make me sleepy. It'll just help my whole nervous system calm down.
I just have to add to Ariana's because, in India and in yogic philosophy, vetiver quiets the mind. So yogis have been using vetiver for hundreds of years for this purpose. And so I loved when Arin said, you put it on, she uses petitgrain right now, but we can also mix around. Rubbing, so if you don't quite get that spot, if you take a drop of vetiver and rub it into your big toes, that's also a great way to quiet your mind if you wake in the middle of the night with rushing thoughts. And then of course, please take that inhale. I think that one is hands down the strongest for getting back to sleep once you've woken.
Well, Louise and I were trying to work on a work project, and we had this idea where we were like, oh, let's take some vetiver internally. And we were smelling it and using it, and we took it internally. And we both were like, whoa, like this isn't the best idea for work and like getting all jazzed up. I was like, yeah, no, don't do it before you're going to do some like your big meeting or your big work project, because it really works. So we had to take a break
for meditation. Meditation and sleep, right?
I think I've heard Arin reference vetiver as liquid Xanax.
Yeah. So, I mean, the side of my story that I don't always get to share, but I really like to when I can, is when I found the doTERRA oils, I was addicted to multiple recreational drugs, cocaine, methamphetamines, and Vicodin. And vetiver is a big part of how I got off of those things, because I would fill it up. I would fill up a capsule of it and I would take it. And it felt similar to a muscle relaxer or a tranquilizer to me. So like the herbal, good for us version. And I would take a vetiver capsule definitely every night, sometimes throughout the day, as I was trying to get over the anxiety. So it is a powerful, powerful herb. And I truly believe that my use of essential oils helped me to rewrite some of the neural pathways around addiction and helped me to detox from it. So something we don't talk a lot about during the holidays is the holidays can be a big trigger. They can be a trigger for alcohol use, for drug use, for depression. I know myself, Halloween hit and I was getting triggered like crazy. I was like, what's going on? Like the going to the pumpkin patch with my 5-year-old and my 2-year-old made me like break down into tears. And my husband's like, what's going on with you? And it's the holidays. The holidays are so triggering for some. So if you have the oils, remember to use them. But also here's just a little tip. I don't know if we're kind of like jumping subjects here, but if you're going to a family function and the norm is to have a cocktail or that's what's offered and maybe you're wanting to avoid that. I personally have been completely sober off of any alcohol, and of course drugs. I've been sober off of drugs for 10 plus years, but about 2 months ago, I had my last glass of wine. And I think it's MetaPWR that did this for me because I wasn't drinking a lot, but I would have an occasional glass of wine and I just didn't want it anymore. But now I'm going into the holidays, right? And I'm going to go to holiday parties and I might have things over here and Thanksgiving dinner, of course you have a bottle of wine and I don't want to do that. So this is my recommendation if you're trying to have a sober holiday or maybe just reduce the amount of drinking, or maybe you'd like to inspire some people to try something else, which is to have some mocktails available. And one really, really easy mocktail that is so amazing is you get a champagne glass, because part of it's the ritual, right? Part of it is you want the fancy glass. It goes with your cute dress. You want the beauty of it all. And you can make faux champagne. So you take sparkling water and you put a drop of frankincense in there. And it is so enlivening. It makes your brain just feel like it's all tingly. You can still be a part of the toast. We used to do this in Hawaii. I would have these special events with women and we would bring out the champagne glasses and they'd be like, we're going to have champagne. And we said, nope, it's not champagne. This is frankincense champagne. So we have a lot of other mocktail recipes, but just a little tip there that the holidays can be triggering, and little things like having some mocktail recipes all the way to taking your tranquilizer, which is a capsule full of MetaPWR, can really help you through all of that. And of course, adaptive. I've already started to up my adaptive consumption over the last couple of weeks, and those capsules are really helpful.
That is so great. I love these conversations. So any other kind of tips for balance emotionally, spiritually, kind of getting triggered with family, with just all of it?
I would say use your diffuser, wear oils. Don't forget the power of aromatherapy. And if you don't know this, I was just reading an article that it's not just our nose that perceives smell. It's actually our entire body, right? So it's so fascinating to me how like it's just our body is so amazing. So other parts of our body are responding to aroma. And so a beautiful way, if you know that you're going to go into a group of people where maybe there's just that one person or a few people who you know trigger you, because that's life and that's what happens sometimes. Wear an oil that helps you, that you like the smell of, and it helps you relax and feel at ease. Our Super Mint Touch blend is really gorgeous, and that's a great blend if you, I know I used to use alcohol for energy actually, because I'd get kind of tired at night, but then I'd have a social event to go out to, and I would be like, oh, I need more energy. So I use mint a lot to help revive my brain and wake me up and get me energized. Mint's really clearing. So like if you feel like you want to kind of clear the energy, I like that stimulation from mint. It's also calms the body down. But there are so many, I mean, our citrus oils are phenomenal for helping to promote happiness. We could use some florals if you feel like you need comfort, right? So sometimes like I have anxiety and I used to get social anxiety and I'd go to the bathroom just to like kind of chill out sometimes because I would get overwhelmed. So if that happens to you, go to or if you are working with someone who has anxiety, the florals can really help. They're euphoric. They can help us calm down. You can go in the bathroom and just, or you could do it even not in the bathroom, but if you want a little breather, if you want to step outside and just be like, whoa, I need a breather, smell some rose oil or smell your neroli or your jasmine. Lavender, of course, is great. So there are so many beautiful blends, but we have so many diffuser blends, but I would say like choose the oils and the smells that you love the most and keep them with you. Put them in your purse or your pocket. If you're having people over, make a nice diffuser blend and just turn that on to help calm the atmosphere from the beginning, right? I'll have people walk into my house and be like, oh, it just smells so good in here, you know? And it's like that. What happens when it smells good is you go, oh, and you just breathe, you know, and then that will help relax the nervous system too.
I want to talk about Supermint for a moment. This is a little bit of a segue, but it's part of the travel. And I just want to mention it because if you are doing any plane or long car rides, does anybody get car sick on the call? So when we were in Italy, a van of our workshop all took a drive to Assisi, and it was a very long, windy road, and everybody was not very happy about it. And I gave everybody a Supermint before we got in the car, during the car ride, and we also layered the Supermint on the wrists and smelled it during the whole entire car ride. And it made a huge difference. And I've had many car rides on this trip where I've had to sit in the back seat dreading, oh, thank you, Josie, for putting this spot right here, kind of dreading like, oh no, I hope I'm not going to get car sick. And or when you're on the airplane, I was walking through the airport and there was a little girl throwing up, and I immediately pulled out my Supermint and asked her parents if I could rub some on her hands so she could breathe it and rub some on the back of her neck. So use it preventatively. So don't wait till you feel gross. If you know that you're prone to getting air sick or car sick, use it right when you get in the car during the ride to prevent that from coming on.
And
so it's a little bit of a back to the travel.
Yeah,
aspect,
no, but I love this.
It was super helpful.
Contessa Beth just shared with us as well. My energy protection in social situations and family. Supermint in a halo around my head and Spanish sage over the middle brain. It makes me feel like I'm wearing a protective cloak or hat. So I love that. You guys, there's definitely a connection between those of us who are very we pick up on energy and things a little too porously and too much, and then getting more car sick, digestively sick, and sensitive that way. There's definitely a connection. And so just think about that. People who, it's great because when you're using the herbs, it doesn't matter if it's a physical thing, if it's an energetic thing, they cover all the bases. So whether you believe that or not, doesn't matter. You know, so it's like, great, peppermint is good for nausea and vomiting. Great. Think about it that way. Oh, it's good for energetic protection. Great. Think about it that way. Like, guess what? It's both. So, yeah, Arin saying Spanish sage is so good for the brain.
I have a quick recommendation for kind of tagging onto what you're saying, Josie. If you are on the call and you consider yourself to be empathic or sensitive, like who thinks of themselves as a highly sensitive person? Yes. So when you go out in public, the holiday season with parties, it can kind of feel like you might be taking on other people's stuff, or the collective sadness that can happen around that time. So I was chatting with a friend of mine recently. She's a family constellation practitioner. So if you don't know what that is, it doesn't really matter what it is, but it's cool stuff anyways. And she had this really great technique. She said she does this anytime she meets somebody, anytime she's talking with someone, anytime she has a one-to-one with someone. And she goes, at the end of the conversation, she'll say, thank you, Josie, for this great conversation. My name is Arin, and I'm going to keep what's mine, and I'm going to give back what's yours. And I know it's kind of silly, but you can try saying something like that among family members. And she said, if all you get out is the statement, hi, Josie, I'm Arin, that energetically will make it so that there's a delineation between who you are and who they are. And if you can throw in, I'm going to take what's mine and give back what's yours, it can help you stay really clear. And if you want to add some essential oils to that before you go to the party, put tea tree on your wrists, put oregano on the top of your head, put petitgrain on your solar plexus, and then put whisper on your heart. So it's the petitgrain is going to filter what comes in through your psychic center, which is your solar plexus. The oregano is going to stop anything that's super negative from coming in. The whisper is going to keep your heart open, and it works so well. I do this before I go to like Costco or a big party. And now I'm adding in just that little bit of, hi, Ariana, I'm Arin. I'm going to keep what's mine. I'm going to let you have what's yours, to just keep me a little more clear. I'll pass it to Dasha.
These are so great, these tips. I just wanted to say that I was listening to everybody, and it occurred to me that there's this amazing analogy from the Bhagavad Gita of the chariot. And sometimes life can feel like the chariot and we actually don't have the reins. And I feel like not just MetaPWR, but all of these tips, tricks, going back to Terrazyme and, all these tools we have, it's like we can take the reins. And then marrying that a little bit with what Ariana and other people have said, it's your intention is so powerful, right? The intention not to drink this holiday is so empowering for Arin. You know what I mean? And it's inspiring. And so just to feel like we're not at the whim, you know what I mean? To take a few minutes before you go out and decide, how do I want to feel? What do I want this to be? How do I want to prep? I think that that's really powerful and important.
Well, and I was going to say, I don't have the study in front of me, and I'm not great at memorizing things, so forgive me. I don't have all the details right now, but there's an ingredient in MetaPWR that in the Advantage, the NAD, that they are using for opiate withdrawal and alcohol withdrawal. And so I thought that was so powerful. And before I read that study, I was talking to Arin, and we were just having conversations about not having that pull anymore. Like you go to something and I think, well, what does this thing give you? What does alcohol give us? Or what does these things that we get addicted to, chocolate or spacing off on our phones or whatever? And I know for me, it's comfort, and it's, when my nervous system gets overwhelmed. Right. And so I was just like, wow, we are already sensing some of this. And then the science backs it up. And that I'm always like, yes, that's so cool. So I would encourage you to try these tools. And I love imagining a spiritual or a emotional and a physical, just like a little toolbox that I carry with me. And when I was younger, I just get overwhelmed and get flooded and kind of shut down and not really know what to do. And I love having tools on hand that I can offer other people and myself when I'm like, oh, wow, I'm feeling really socially overwhelmed right now, but I have something that I can go do instead of just, sitting there feeling like I can't breathe, or, wow, I'm really triggered by, I don't have an Uncle Joe, but an Uncle Joe's comment or whatever, ooh, can I take a breather and smell some oils before I immediately respond with something maybe that would provoke a fight, So just remembering, wow, what a beautiful toolkit that we've just discussed in this conversation. And I also wanted to say that we do have the BOGOs coming up, and we don't know everything in the box, but there's a few oils we haven't talked about. And if I'm pretty, I like sales and I like thrifty and I like getting things at really good prices. And so if you're like me, some of the oils that are going to be available if we get the BOGO box is going to be the Northern Escape, the On Guard, Cassia, Deep Blue, and Roman Chamomile. And they're all phenomenal. I could speak to all of them. We've talked about immune health. So the On Guard, when you're around big groups of people, you still want to not pick up any nasty winter viruses and getting sick. So using that, taking that orally, diffusing, that's going to be phenomenal. But I wanted to say something about Roman chamomile. So Roman chamomile is absolutely phenomenal for calming the nervous system. It was also an oil that soldiers put on before they went out to war. So it's very protective. And so that's an oil that I diffuse all the time. It's phenomenal for sleep. I love to rub it. I always go right to my heart with Roman chamomile. I think it's gorgeous. You can use it in a tea with some honey, like Manuka honey would be gorgeous. So that's another comforting oil that we can bring in. And then another thing I wanted to speak to is Deep Blue, which I know when I start getting tense or overwhelmed, I clench my jaw. Anybody else have TMJ or like first place we hold tension is our jaw and my shoulders. And so if you're busy in the holiday rush and you're getting really tense and maybe you ate a little too much sugar and you're having some inflammation, the Deep Blue is going to be really gorgeous for your shoulder area. It's great for migraines. It's great for any kind of muscular tension. And then I have to mention the Northern Escape because that is a big bottle of, like, it's a forest in a bottle. It is all these amazing tree oils. And we're talking about the holidays. And I just want to honor people who actually don't celebrate holidays or who don't have family, right? That can also be a huge point of a lot of emotions, is there's a lot of people who the holidays trigger a lot of loneliness and a lot of grief of not having a family to go to, not having a meal to go to, spending time by themselves and maybe wishing it was different. It's a time where people are remembering people who are not here, and the grief that surrounds that. And so I wanted to say for our tree medicine and our tree oils that they are phenomenal for generational healing. And they are really, really gorgeous to hold a space of protection and grounding and helping us to connect with our ancestors in a way that I feel is really, we talk a lot about ancestral traumas and the things that are passed down that are hard from our ancestors. But I feel like the tree medicine also reminds me there are beautiful gifts of resilience and gifts our ancestors give us too. And so if you have any of that coming up, diffusing the tree oils, putting them on your feet before bed, and then they're just a great holiday smell, right? I mean, they smell like, if you celebrate Christmas, it's like, oh, Christmas trees or solstice. Oh, it's the plants and it's the winter time. So I just wanted to say, and then I wasn't going to talk about all of them, but cassia is in there too. And cassia is great to like taste when you have a sweet tooth because it's really sweet. It's great to make a tea with. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I really want something sweet, just put a drop of cassia on your tongue and it will help balance your blood sugar. So they were just all such good oils. I couldn't leave any of them out.
Oh, thank you, Ari. Well, I think that's a wonderful way to finish our call. And with the BOGOs and what is happening tomorrow, and I would like to, Arin has reminded me, so I would like to remind everybody, this has been juicy, right? There's a lot of recipes on our call. We've talked about a lot. Would you like to be able to go over these and see the recipes? Yeah, you're going to get that on our newsletter. So go to our website, hellovisionary.life, and sign up for our email. It's not a newsletter, it's an email. Our email, where basically you're going to then get on Wednesday or Thursday a downloaded PDF of what we've just spoken about with a lot of recipes and memes and things. And by the by, on our email and our email list and newsletter, you'll get information about the BOGOs as they're going on this week. So you'll be able to decide, do I want to, it's on guard day. I want to stock up and get 2 or 3 on guards, or no, I want to buy the BOGO box or whatever you want to do. So definitely make sure that you are on our list to get all these goodies.
And then I want to also say that please join us for our call next week. We're going to be talking about Blue Lotus, and that's a holiday item that is not always available. It is a very royal oil. It's phenomenal for the brain, and it's available in our holiday items. So if you want to grab that before our call, so you can smell it and experience it, I highly recommend it. I don't know if it will sell out, but I have a feeling it might. And Dr. Louise Rose, Mika Carew, Dr. Will Wan, and I do a deep dive every month on one oil, and it is so phenomenal. We talk about them like we did today, mind and body. So the emotions, the physical and the emotional, spiritual, which are all connected. And I love Will too, goes into the traditional Chinese medicine of our plants. So it's really fun. So please join us for that too. It's our A to Z call.
I have one more thing to add, and then I know we need to wrap it up, but I just want to make sure all of you know that because you are a part of our visionary leader community on the Essential Wellness Facebook page. If you're not there, make sure and get added. We have some amazing gift basket giveaways. So when you buy a BOGO box, if you go into that thread and put an image of your order, you will get 5 raffle tickets. And then you will get a raffle ticket per every BOGO that you buy during the week. We're doing it a little differently. So that's why I wanted to tell you all. We have one post that you will post all week long, all of your orders. And then we're going to choose, we have 3 gift baskets and all the memes are there. You can see what's being offered. And then we also have a virtual gift basket, which will be posted shortly. And that's going to be for our international crew. Because it's a little more difficult to mail you a big box. So we wanted to give you some goodies that way. So please go in and tag your team and make sure everybody knows. If you look at the featured posts at the top of the page, you will find the Daily BOGO. You will also find the area with the explanation of how to enter the giveaway. And if you have people that are not on the Facebook page and you want to enter them, just have them send you a screenshot. You can go add it to the thread and write their name, and then we will contact you if they win. So I just want to make sure that none of you miss that because we have a lot of exciting giveaways there.
All right. Thank you so much, Aisha, and everyone for joining us on this call. And please join us next week where we go over Blue Lotus with our A to Z call and the group. So happy holidays for everybody. And I hope this has been supportive.
Much love.
Bye.
See you next week.